The John Birch Society Report. George Washington stated, "Truth will ultimately prevail where pain is taken to bring it to light." Truth is the major weapon of the John Birch Society Report. We will return after these words from our sponsor. The John Birch Society Report presents this weekly broadcast to bring you commentary and analysis of today's events. Our commentator today is Mr. Thomas J. Anderson, well-known columnist and humorist of Nashville, Tennessee, and president and editor-in-chief of Southern Farm Publications.
Today, I want to talk especially to young people. Once upon a time, a mighty king condemned one of his lowly subjects to die. The wretch proposed, and the king agreed, to call off the execution if, within 1 year, the condemned could teach the king's horse to fly. "Why postpone the inevitable?" a friend asked the wretch. "It's not inevitable," he replied. "The odds are 4 to 1 in my favor. 1, the king might die. 2, I might die. 3, the horse might die. 4, I might teach the horse to fly." Jesus said, "All things are possible to him that believeth." A person who aims at nothing has a target he can't miss. Set an attainable goal. When you reach it, set another goal. How? Many people flounder on the ship of life because they never chart a course. Make money the byproduct of your life, not the goal. Drink at the fountain of knowledge. Don't just gargle. It's all right for you girls to be fortune hunters if you marry a man who's a fortune in himself. Marry kindness, ambition, courage, determination, diligence, intelligence, honesty, good manners, sympathy, integrity, enthusiasm, and you have married a fortune. And remember, it takes 2 to make marriage a success, but only 1 to make it a failure. Kissing don't last, but good cooking do. Don't ever let anybody sell you the idea that chastity is out of date. Chastity will never be out of date. Your children will want their mother to be as pure as you want your mother to be. If we lose our morality, we will be enslaved, and vice versa. Freedom and morality are one ball of wax. The great Thomas Jefferson said, "Yes, we did produce a near-perfect republic, but will they keep it? Or will they, in the enjoyment of plenty, lose the memory of freedom?" Material abundance without character is the surest way to destruction. Close quote. Remember, freedom, while God-given, does not perpetuate itself. There is only one great giver, and that is God, not government. Government can give you nothing but what it takes from somebody else. A government big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take everything you've got, including your freedom. Government is not a creator, but a parasite. Government can be a good friend or your worst enemy. Government must be studied, understood, participated in, and controlled by the people, else it may become not the referee it is supposed to be, but a tyrant. Demand that your government leave you alone as long as you are not harming your fellow man. You should be rewarded according to your ability and your effort, not your needs. Prepare to pay your own debts, but not the debts of parasites. Go the extra mile to help him who would help himself, but give nothing to the leech who would live off the diligence of others. If you are determined to milk all possible pleasure out of life, buy your own cow. Don't milk somebody else's through the fence. Remember, you cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. America represents the last hope of mankind during our time to be free. The enslaved of the world look to America. We may yet have the morality and the courage to free them from their communist enslavement. But if we lose our freedom, who will free us? If the lamp of freedom is blown out in America, the world will be thrown into darkness. Every person can excel in something. Develop your God-given talents to their highest pinnacle. Do not accept mediocrity. In the final analysis, neither your government nor your parents are responsible for you. You are responsible for yourself. Believe in your God, in your country, and in yourself, and in that order. Repeat constantly to yourself, it all depends on me. There are two kinds of people, those who lift and those who lean. Some dedicate their lives to lifting their own character and fortunes, and in making the world a better place because they are in it. The leaners, on the other hand, are parasites who live off the achievement of others. Be a driver, not a hitchhiker. A while back, a woman told me that my daughter, age 22, had more character than almost any person her age she had ever known. This brought a tear to my eye. This I had rather have heard than that she is the most beautiful, the best dancer, singer, writer, or anything else. This is the supreme compliment, for character is the only thing we earn on earth, which we can take with us when we die. Reputation is what you are supposed to be. Character is what you are. Reputation is what your obituary says. Character is what your angels say. You can't help it if you're ugly at 18, but if you're not beautiful at 80, it's your own fault. You can't help it if you were able neither to earn nor to inherit much in worldly goods, but character is a victory, not a gift. If you lack it, blame not your parents nor society. Blame yourself. Confucius said, "To know what is right and not to do it is the worst of cowardice." The morning after Charles Lindbergh flew the Atlantic nonstop from New York to Paris, an associate of Charles Kettering rushed into the research expert's laboratory in Dayton, Ohio, shouting, "He made it! He made it! Lindbergh landed safely in Paris. He did it all by himself." Kettering looked up from his work momentarily and remarked quietly, "When he flies it with a committee, let me know." The great accomplishments of history have been wrought by individuals, not by the mass. Learn to sing solo. Anybody can sing when everybody is singing. During the middle of Queen Victoria's long reign, a boy was born in Great Britain. As a student, he was usually near the bottom of his class. He lived to become one of history's intellectual greats. As a boy, he stuttered, yet he became one of the world's greatest orators. He failed 3 times in the entrance examinations for Sandhurst, the British West Point, yet he became one of history's greatest military strategists. He had little formal education, but his writings now serve as textbooks for scholars. He was, at middle age, a proclaimed failure, yet he was one of the few people who have lived to see himself placed among the immortals. He had a passion for life. His name was Winston Churchill. When chided once about ending a sentence with a preposition, Winston Churchill replied, "That is the kind of pedantry up with which I will not put." In peace, in war, in life, Winston Churchill was a nonconformist, not one of the gang. The strongest man on earth is the man who stands most alone. In today's society, most people look to the right and to the left to see whether the Joneses are doing it before they do it. Develop opinions of your own. Don't merely wear whatever happens to be in style. Be sure you are right, then go ahead. Remember, today's mighty oak is just yesterday's little nut which stood its ground. If it is morally wrong, it cannot be politically right. Truth outranks togetherness. Throughout history, the majority has more often been wrong than right. The mob is a slob. Thomas Carlyle said, quote, "The great law of culture is, let each become all that he was created capable of being." Close quote. Society advances mainly through those who are unafraid to be different. Dare to be a Daniel. Dare to be square. Be a sovereign individual, not just a member of the mob. Be the chicken with the guts to say no to the crowd when the crowd is wrong. The completely happy person who has no problems is either without sanity or without conscience. Trouble is the common denominator of living. Clouds bring life-giving rainstorms and are a necessary part of life. Learn to face life as it is and as it can be. One of your most precious possessions is time. It is criminal to waste it. You will never live this moment again. Cato confessed that the fault which he felt the greatest need to repent was spending an hour unprofitably. Life is an opportunity, a skill to be developed, a victory to be won. Every passing second is a grain of gold, won or lost. The poet said, "Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, it might have been." It might have been if we had so willed it.
We want to thank all those who've taken time to listen to the John Birch Society Report, which has again focused attention on important subjects directly involving you. Our commentator today has been Thomas J. Anderson. If you would like a copy of today's message, please send 50 cents for one copy or $1 for 3 copies to the John Birch Society Report, San Marino, California. Please enclose a stamped, self-addressed envelope. Ask for